Paltrocast.
We'll start with Cara first. We'll go two-parter. How are you doing, and how is your day going? Aside from answering the same questions over and over and over again from writers.
Okay. First of all, I feel great. Thank you for asking. And second of all, the reason that I wanted to do this movie is because it makes for cool conversations, actually. So today's been a really interesting exploration of a lot of the ideas in the film with a lot of amazingly smart people. Yeah, it's good. It's
It
good.
is a genre blurring movie, and I say that in a very, very good way. Now, Peter, you have experience playing a cop, doing some action kind of stuff in your award-winning career and all that. Did you do any extra training for this particular role in Levels?
Only sort of what we could squeeze in. It was a pretty fast production schedule, so we made sure to get as much fight rehearsal in as we could. But it's something I love and love doing, and we had an incredible stunt team. So it thankfully all went well with minimal opportunity for training in advance.
Well, I
Whoa.
asked you that, before I throw it to Cara right here. Looking behind you, I see the old-timey, I don't know, are those shoot wrestling fighters or are they
Yes, there's three old-timey boxers behind me who I love. I don't know why. I had a very brief boxing career that I loved, but I realized it was a little incompatible with acting if you're going to be sparring, having black eyes. So now I'm just left with these three guys.
with awesome art? Now, Cara, in your case, I think the first time I saw you was probably in your part in Letterkenny, and then
Oh my God.
you look up Cara and you go, oh, you've always been working, steadily working, but it's been a mix of drama and comedy and all sorts of kind of stuff. For this role, did you have to do any training, weapons related stuff?
Nope. This was all that kind of stuff was stuff I've done before. So I brought that to the party.
Wow. Was any particular training or differentiation needed for this particular role?
We did like pretty extensive stunt rehearsals for the fight sequences, and that's always particular to the project. And that was really cool, especially because this is an indie film. I was really impressed with the amount of time that we had to actually really work those fight scenes because they're super important. I mean, that's the fun of the movie, really, is those fight scenes. So I wanted to make sure we really nailed it. I had an amazing stunt double for this too, and she did a lot of fighting outside in an alley in a cold ass Winnipeg winter situation. So, you know.
Okay, that was going to be about three questions from now.
I
Where is this film? And Peter, you have Winnipeg roots, right?
I am from Winnipeg. Yeah,
Yeah.
born and raised in Winnipeg. So I knew what the director Adam did not know when they told him it would be warm in March. I knew that was a lie. We had a particularly cold March, but luckily a lot of what you see in the film, I'd say 70-80% takes place in studio. There's a lot of studio work. So we were only cold some days.
But we
Only
were very cold.
We were very cold those days.
Well, Cara, I mean, you have your Alberta roots as well, besides the Ontario kind of stuff. So for even you, Winnipeg is cold?
Oh my God. Okay, I came from shooting Sweet Tooth in New Zealand 2 days before we were in Winnipeg. So 2 days I had to go from like a New Zealand summer to the depths of a Winnipeg winter. It was super intense, yeah.
How does that work?
And I'm like, okay, so I'm Ojibwe, right? I'm indigenous to when I'm, in Toronto, I'm like, yeah, okay, my people are here. I feel like I would have been one of those native people who like didn't make it through the winter. Like I wear a Canada Goose in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
other people in my nation would have had to really look out for me. Like I'd have been in the wigwam, like just huddled. I would have had to really perfect some like sewing.
I,
I would have maybe not made. Just saying.
I know what you're talking about here because I think that when you're around all the tough people, you figure out the things that you can do that they can't do. So, for
Yeah.
example, if it's one of those like prison scenarios, you go like, well, I could do their taxes or I could do the press releases, that kind of a thing. So, do you know what skills you would be foisting on them?
I mean, like, I don't have them. I would have died. I just know this about myself.
You would teach theater to the kids on.
Yeah, yeah,
That I
exactly.
can't even do that. I have dabbled in that, and guys, guess what? I'm so bad at that. I'm like swearing. I'm like not. It's not good. I can't do that either. I've thought of this. I've thought in an apocalypse, I'm done. Like yeah.
Oh,
Send help. Like I can wave a flag.
well, before I throw it back to Peter, I mean, it's fascinating to see a film like this, which is like a dystopia-ish, futuristic thing, and you've already given up on the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what can you do now, Peter? Have you thought about your future skill sets, putting you on the spot there?
Yeah. I've thought very, very much about them. Seeing as I'll shortly be replaced by an AI. Hopefully, I get a good deal for my likeness, and then I'd like to use something with my hands. I'd like to make some furniture, maybe, and hopefully, I'll find a good second chapter in that.
Well, you mentioned before a short-lived boxing tenure that you had.
Yes.
So obviously you're one of the 1% of actors who are handy.
Yeah, reasonably handy. You know what? Actually, my wife's currently out of the house, so I'm going to say I'm extremely handy because no one here to dispute it. So very, very handy guy.
I'll admit it. My wife does all the handiwork in this place. She fixes everything. I can barely unload the dishwasher. So
Wow, it looks great. I see a bunch of very well hung pictures in the background.
Wife did it.
Amazing. She's
I have
incredible.
to say, actually, though, that is one of the things I think that I'm the best at is I am the woman who loads a dishwasher. Like I can load I can load a dishwasher perfectly. That's probably the one thing. I don't know if that will be useful in the apocalypse, but I do bring that to the table.
Well, that means transferring the skills here. You're probably good at Tetris.
Very good at Tetris, yes.
Okay. So if you're good at Tetris, that means you're good at Jenga.
Packing, I can pack a suitcase really well.
There you go. So I think there's some logistics that you can do.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, Cara, we're going to work on that. But
okay, that's great. Thank you. You've given me hope.
Score. Levels to us is a new movie. To you, it's an old movie because it's a couple of projects ago. But when did you actually wrap on Levels?
We wrapped at the end of March 2023.
Oh.
I checked my watch, like it was like something to do with the time. I was like, we're up to 12 hours plus a year and a half ago.
You did say March before, so I wasn't sure if it was March 2023, March 2023.
Yeah, March 2023. It's been a long time, but it's actually been quite a tight turnaround from the post-production standpoint because so much of this was built in VFX after we shot. So we were just, there's the script phase, the development phase, the shooting phase, but then a whole long life as this sort of Adam's vision came into reality.
So it speaks to both of you and how good you are at your craft. If you were acting without the effects in place, if you were acting to green screen and so forth. Compliments?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was definitely a lot of fun to do, and it was great. Adam was very clear about what we were seeing, and Cara was very generous. For example, if I had a scene talking to a wall, Cara would come in knowing that her face would be projected on the wall, after the fact, but she would come and read her lines, so I wasn't just reacting to.
Yeah, we did that for each other. We were very invested in making sure the movie turned out as well as it could. So
yes. Yeah.
We're there for each other with that kind of stuff because that in a quick shoot, that's hard stuff.
Yeah, it's really tough. And usually I just go to my trailer.
Yeah, in any shoot, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, two questions for each of you, then I let you go, and I'll throw it to Cara first. So, being that Levels is a couple of projects ago, are we allowed to know where we're going to see you next? And Peter, you're going to have to answer that same question afterwards.
Okay. Yeah.
No, do you know what? I am on my mat leave. I have taken a hot break. I had a couple of kids. I just spent the pandemic making people with my guts. And then I shot stuff right away. I was, actually, I wouldn't have been able to do this film if it wasn't for sweet, sweet nanny Jess, who came and looked after my baby, who was like a baby, and I was still breastfeeding and had him on set with me. So I've taken a hot break for myself, which has been a mind-altering journey of its own.
And you also, if Wikipedia is correct, you were about to give birth during The Expanse. So you have been able to, go back and forth and also work while dealing with all sorts of pressures.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy. I played drummer pregnant twice. For the video game, I was super pregnant too. And then I shot Sweet Tooth in New Zealand. I started shooting that when my newborn was 8 weeks old.
Wow.
Which was crazy. But yeah, I mean, Nanny Jess, I wouldn't have been able to do it without her. And that, I think, and the support of all of the different productions. I mean, certainly this production, everyone knew what my deal was. And I think that actually having, including mothers in the working world and figuring out the accommodations that need to be made to be able to have that perspective that is actually so often shut out of working environments, or where women have to choose, I think is actually the way of the future. And I feel like really grateful that I have been able to work and not make any kind of compromises as far as having my babies with me too. It's pretty lucky, pretty great.
Fantastic. Peter, are you equipped to answer that same question, where we might see you next?
Yes. Yes, I have a few things coming out. I did a film in Newfoundland with a director named Melanie Oates called Sweet Angel Baby that was just at the Toronto Film Festival. That's coming out soon, I believe. And then I have a series coming out on the 31st of this month called Mistletoe Murders, about a small town where people keep dying in the lead up to Christmas.
Not your first Christmas project, and probably not your last either. And,
yeah.
The last question, I don't think I'm going to get an answer from Cara on it, but then I'll let you go after that. It's, what's the last concert that you went to?
Oh, I went to Tool when I was pregnant, and I was like, is this going to be okay for my baby? And now she's got like sick taste. She's got such a good ear. She got such a good taste. I'm like, it's because I brought you to a Tool concert when you were in my belly.
Was that Tool with Primus and Pucifer?
Pardon me?
Was that Tool with Primus and Pucifer? It was like a 3-part band tour.
No, it was just Tool, and it was like
Tool
pre-pandemic.
Oh,
this is a hot minute ago. Yeah, I've been home since then.
Well, Peter, can you top a Tool concert?
I think I can.
What did you see last?
It was so recent and so awesome. There's a little dive bar down the street, and my wife and I went for open mic night 2 nights ago, and it was great. So much smaller scale, but it was really good. But before that, it's been embarrassingly quite some time.
Well, it's hard to do things at night when you have little kids.
It's really tough. I'm tired. By the time the main act comes on, I'm tired. I'm in bed.
Honestly, it's like the middle of the night. Like,
yeah, I gotta find a concert with an opener I love, and I'll go see them and then go home.
Yeah. Our time will come. Our time will come. These things and we'll be able to go.
But
Darren, we'll get cool again. I promise.
Yeah, one day.
When you do a movie like Levels, you're already cool. So I am looking forward to what both of you have coming up. Congrats on Levels, and thank you for the great art over the years, and thank you for your time.
That's awesome. Great talking to you.